When it comes to drying our vehicle, there are many different products, many different techniques, and many different aids that we can use to actually dry our vehicle safely, giving it a streak-free finish. That could be something like a dedicated drying towel here. That could be also something like compressed air, a dedicated car dryer. But I think for a lot of us, having an essential drying aid is extremely important. Now, there are many different categories when it comes to drying aids, things to help us pick up that water, leave a streak-free finish, and also add a little bit of slickness behind to make sure we're not marring up the paint. That could be something like a waterless wash or a detail spray, or something like these over here that have ceramic protection inside of them, personally, which I think people far use too much. We'll dive into that in the video, but we're also going to be highlighting a product that I've been playing around with that I'm pretty blown away. This is YumCars Detailer, their dedicated drying aid, and honestly, this might be my new favorite. Welcome back to the channel. Let's jump into it. Well, I appreciate each and every one of you being here today, and very excited to dive into the world of drying aids a little bit more in depth, because as usual, I've got some pretty strong opinions on drying aids, what I like, and how I think people are just genuinely overusing ceramic infused drying aids on their vehicle pretty much every single time they wash their vehicle. So let's start off this video going through and talking about what the heck is an actual drying aid. Now, as the name suggests, this is going to aid us in the process of drying our vehicle, or help us in the process of drying our vehicle. Now, if we take a step back a little bit and understand the process of washing and drying our vehicle, this is when we are most susceptible to actually adding scratches to our vehicle, having some micro marring in that process, which is why we use something like a pre-wash, and then we go through, rinse that down, we refoam it with a pH neutral shampoo, and either use the 2-bucket method, the 1-bucket method with a bunch of wash mitts in there to try and alleviate the amount of marring we can possibly do. All of that's great, but a lot of people, when they come to the drying process, just simply take something like a large drying towel here, all the water on the vehicle, slap it on the hood, start drying it. Now, the inherent thing you need to understand here, microfibers are a little abrasive. Now, water is a lubricant, but it's a pretty bad one here. But it's great that you actually have something on the surface of the vehicle. I personally am not a huge fan of blow drying the entire car to get 90% of the water off and then use a towel, because I never like dry wiping a surface. That is when we come into drying aids to add some lubrication there, help us pick up the water and leave behind a streak-free finish. So personally, what I've been using for years in terms of drying aids are using something like a detail spray here. This is actually one of my favorite drying aids from Posh Detailing, their paint finish. This is a very traditional detail spray that is going to leave nothing behind, but that's going to add that lubrication, help pick up water, and leave nothing behind. What I also like using, and this has really been my much preferred method of using it for a drying aid, is something like Adam's waterless wash here. This has a lot more lubrication than an actual drying aid here. This is something that really, if you need to spot clean up your vehicle using something like a waterless wash here, it's gonna be a little bit safer, and that is why I like using it as a drying aid. Again, adding that lubrication, helping pick up the water, leaving nothing behind here. Now, the other thing that I've seen the industry really move into lately is ceramic infusing a detail spray and then using that as a drying aid every single time we wash our vehicle or dry our vehicle. And I personally think people just far overuse these. In my view, these are still fantastic products, but they should be used occasionally, not every single time you dry your vehicle. Products like these might be something that I would use twice a year, maybe once a quarter, something like that. I think people just far overuse them. So inherently, I love the concept behind this, right? Because as I said, anytime we are interacting with our vehicle, touching our vehicle, we are at the chance of adding marring to the surface. And especially if you've spent time, gone through, done a paint correction, a polish, ceramic coated it, or you've sent it to a professional, spent thousands of dollars doing so, you don't want to damage that surface after you spent all that time or that money. So inherently, taking two essentially processes combining them into one seems like a great idea. And that's where I actually love these products. The issue with these products, if you have long-term protection on your vehicle, like a ceramic coating or a sealant, is these are just going to become the new layer of which you're interacting with. And I see a lot of people over time, you know, your coating's not starting to look so great, and you go, hey, what do you use for your drying aid? Oh, I use a ceramic detail spray every single time. And I'm like, you realize the water behavior on your car now is literally just from that ceramic detail spray topper. And I personally just don't love that. This is great to kind of boost your ceramic coating. Again, like I said, every quarter, every 6 months, whatever that might be, but not something you should be using every time. The other inherent issues with these is because they are ceramic infused, what are you picking them up with? Your drying towels here. What do you think adding ceramic infusion into a drying towel does? Well, of course, makes it less absorbent. Even after you immediately wash it, these over time will start picking up less and less water by using things like these. So again, I'm not a super big fan of that. Now, that is where YumCars Detailer comes into play here. And again, this was from a video, a couple of videos actually that I've been making recently and talking about some drying aids. I actually tested Pan's product on one and I was like, yeah, it's okay. It's not my favorite. I still think Armor Detail Supply's Amplify is the best SiO2 detailer on the planet out there. It's great for that. But for everyday drying aids, you guys told me YumCars is the best here. Now there's a few things and a few principles of why I really like this product here. And again, going back to what I like to use, I don't want to leave anything behind. I want the surface to feel super slick and I don't want to have to go back over it to pick up any streaks. Now they claim here this leaves nothing behind but is unbelievably slick. But I do have a problem with this product, and I think this is where the marketing department gets in the way of what the actual chemistry and what the intended use of the product is to do. So YumCars, if you go onto their website here, they claim this leaves absolutely nothing behind, but they also say that this adds gloss. How do you leave nothing behind but add gloss? Think about that for a second. Can't really do that. So understand here, this is probably leaving behind some very basic polymers there that are not going to mask the ceramic coating, which I am okay with. Now, the thing that I absolutely love about this stuff, it is so unbelievably slick. And so much so, this is my new favorite drying aid. So let's come over here to my wife's Kia EV9, of which I've just washed up. Let's get this thing dried. I want to give you some impressions throughout this, show you it on the glass, on some piano black plastic trim here, and show you how amazing this leaves the surface and why this is really my new drying aid. All right, guys, so we've got the car washed down now, and this is where we're at our drying stage. So I just want to start off here showcasing to you waterless wash. So typically what I do is mist it right there on the panel. You can see it does change how the water reacts to that. It's giving a little bit of lubrication there, and I've sprayed it directly on the towel. Now, I'll tell you the feel on this is pretty darn good. You can see it picks up all the water, leaves it streak free behind. We can even come back over here to, let's say, a window. I'll mist that down. Sorry, it's a little hard to film this here. And as I move this over, you'll see it does leave a little bit of water residue behind. That's really more down to the towel. Then I can always flip this over and boom, completely streak free. Now, if I come to something like Posh Paint Finish, one of my favorite detail sprays, gonna mist it right there on the panel, mist it right onto our towel. When I go to wipe this, way more slickness than the waterless wash. Now, importantly, it's not a crazy amount of slickness. It's pretty darn good. So I want to show you what it looks like here. I'm almost out of this stuff. Actually need to get some more, but maybe I won't actually need to. And you can see it actually does a little bit better here on the glass. Doesn't leave any sort of little water streaks or anything like that. Looks absolutely fantastic. Now, ADS's Amplify here, we're exactly going to use the same way. So we're going to mist it right on the panel, and I'll give one heavy mist right onto the towel. And this is where things, oh yeah, get turned up to 11. The slickness behind this is absolutely out of this world. It is actually incredible. So now let's come back over here. And I want to spray down the window. We'll do a big mist there. And I'll come back with our towel. I mean, the slickness on this, up to this point has been unmatched. And I think that's why people like this so much, because the finish on that is amazing. Yes, we've added protection, but again, this is not something I want to use every single time I dry the car. I absolutely love this product, and I think it is one of the best SiO2 infused detailers on the market right now. It is actually incredible stuff. But now let's go over to the YumCars Detailer, and this is where my mind was blown. All right, here we are now. So let's come here directly on the towel, and I'm gonna mist this on the surface. Look at how it immediately changes the surface tension there. Pretty crazy. I can't even explain to you the feeling on that. That is the slickest feel I have ever felt on any sort of drying aid ever. Again, even Amplify, absolutely blown away with it. That is next level stuff. So I want to come back here to glass. So I'm going to mist this down. I'm going to spray it right on my towel there. It's very hard to do this one-handed. It is butter. Absolute butter. Looks incredible. I found my drying aid, folks. I mean, it has what I love about the ADS Amplify there, but again, leaves nothing behind. And again, there is absolutely a use case for the ADS Amplify. I'm not saying there isn't, but for daily washes or weekly washes, I can be crazy and do sometimes daily washes. Yum Detailer here, out of this flippin' world. This stuff, I've never felt anything so unbelievably slick. And the great thing with this is you do apply it a little bit more liberally as you start here. And then as you go, you start feeling that slickness throughout the entire panel of the vehicle. And it just leaves it absolutely amazing here. So we'll spray this on here. Again, just love to see that surface tension change here. Come back in. I mean, it feels like you put warm butter on the car and then just pick all of that up. Wow. Absolutely blown away with it. And again, it still continues working down here once you start to get it worked in the towel. Pretty incredible stuff there. All right, guys. Well, let's finish this video off with some final thoughts. And I got to say, blown away with this stuff. So I picked this up yet again off recommendations from you guys. That is something I take a ton of pride in. If you look through my cabinets here at the shop, what I use on a daily basis is from a multitude of different companies. Now, I know companies don't like this, but I am absolutely not a brand loyalist. So I am very quickly to try something. I like something better. Get rid of the other stuff. This is my new favorite. I have zero problem doing that. I don't care who it's from. As long as the product works and is better than everything else, that's what I'm going to use. That's what I'm going to recommend. And the cool part about this is actually the first product that I purchased from YumCars, and now I'm even more intrigued to try the rest of the line. I think what'll probably happen, and I'll take you guys along the way with me, I'll try some products that are standouts for me, and I'll also try some products which might be good, yes, but I might prefer other products, and that's totally okay. I always recommend you guys try stuff, use stuff, and don't just be so guarded and I've got to use this product from this company because I like that company. It's cool to support companies if you really like that company. I have no problem with that. Personally though, as a professional detailer, as somebody who runs a detailing business and is a content creator here on YouTube, I want to use the best stuff and I want you guys to know what the best stuff is. And I got to thank you guys for recommending me trying this because I probably wouldn't have tried it. I'm really blown away with it. The only question I have, and I hope Nick from YumCars actually watches this video, if you are claiming this product adds nothing or leaves nothing behind, how do you also claim that it adds gloss to it? That is something that I think is a little bit on the marketing fluff side, because if you think about it, right, if you are making the car glossier, and I can really feel it here, it is leaving something behind. Is this ceramic protection? No. Do I believe these are probably just polymers on here? Yes, and I am really okay with that as long as it's not going to gum up all of the ceramic coating and that type of stuff, and not just leaving long-term protection over and over and over. And again, the cool part about this is not going to clog up your towels. The whole situation with ceramic infused detail sprays, again, it's not to say I hate those. It's just to say I think people way overuse them, and it's like continually adding toppers to your coating. It is absolutely not needed. Put on a very strong base layer of coating coating, maintain it, and the thing's gonna last. You don't need to just top it every single darn time you're washing your car. So shout out to YumCars here. Really impressed with this. Let me know if you guys have tried this stuff. Also, let me know if you think there's better stuff out there. I am very willing to try something else and throw this stuff away and say, hey, this is better than this. But for right now, blown away with this stuff. And this stuff's definitely going to go up on the wall here with my favorite drying aid bottle. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you in another one soon. Bye-bye.